You're listening to Crypto World News. Trade responsibly.
So crypto does pay off. I've managed to purchase a new car with the money
Wow.
I've made on crypto.
That's fantastic. What type of car did you get?
I got an Audi Q5.
Oh,
I'm super excited.
that is great.
I mean, minus the taxes and everything. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh yeah. Taxes are
Yeah. So guys, it's possible. Trust me. It's absolutely achievable. And today I'll be talking about how to achieve that. Ha 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 ha. Hi everyone. Okay guys, so I don't know if a lot of you know me, but I've been on Crypto World News streams before, and I talked about a very non-traditional way of trading that does not require TA. And don't throw rocks at me because I know we're in TA kingdom right now, but I do make a lot of money from trading the non-TA style, which also works out. The one thing I wanted to briefly talk about is how it works. Yeah. Well, it is a QFL. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the position trading, but then the rest of the time I would like to dedicate, because I only have an hour, I want to dedicate to account building. Account building is for those who don't have much to play with, and in order for you to make money, you need to have something, to play around with. So for those who are just starting or unfortunately lost a bunch in the bear market and are recovering right now, there's a trading method called account building. And I'll talk about it in detail so you guys understand what I mean. But first, I would like to talk about how I trade with my trading stack and how I gain free coins, right? And how I end up having bags and bags and bags. I have over 70 different coins that I'm holding right now. And most of those coins are free profits for me, okay? They're not my money. It's the money that I've made from trading these coins. And it's called position trading. So basically, I trade BTC on a 4-hour chart, and it just gives me a better picture because BTC is a very slow moving coin. It barely moves, okay? It takes a lot to dump it and it takes a lot to pump it. So in order for me to really make good percentages on it, I really would like to see a big picture. And what I do is I look at this, What I do is I look at the overall picture and I look for support bases. And supports are normally look like this when the coin drops. Let me see if I can make this bigger. This is not my main account, so when the coin drops like this and then it bounces, okay, so this creates a support. Then we have a smaller support over here, and then another one over here, and then this is obviously a very strong big support, right? So once I get to this point or whatever, because I don't traditionally chase after the greens, I buy when everybody else is selling. And it's been a very safe way for me to trade because rarely I'm at loss. I can tell you that 99% of my trades are safe, and close to 95% are profitable trades. You have to buy the dip, but there's also a catch to it. You can't just go ham and buy the dip because we really don't know how low it's going to go, right? So when you're looking at the chart, essentially all you see is this, right, when it's tanking. So how do you know where the bottom is? You really don't. Yeah. Dollar cost average, yeah, pretty much. I also call it martingale in a way. So in order for you to protect yourself from going all in, you need to make sure that you establish support bases. Because a lot of times what happens is this is, you know, a lot of people think, okay, this is a great support. This is a great support. You know, this coin is going to bounce off this price level, for example, here, right? And once it starts dipping below that, people start to panic. Okay. And when panic happens, a lot of sellers just want to get rid of their coins. They don't really care about the price, especially if they bought somewhere over here, right? Like a lot of people did. And now it's dipping more and more and more. And from 19K, it went all the way down to, let's just say, 11K, right? People want to get rid of those coins. They're panicking. They're afraid. So these dumps are the dumps that I trade, basically. And you can either do it on the 4-hour chart, which I do with Ethereum and BTC, or you can do it on 1-hour chart, which is also fine. So once the coin dips, there's a certain percentage that I look for. And I personally, the first buy I get in probably around anywhere 5 to 7%. And I'm not looking for, I'm not waiting for it to bounce higher than where it came from. What I'm looking for is to trade this bounce. So the lower it goes, the higher my profits are going to be. Because a lot of times, I don't even wait for this thing to go higher. I sell at the previous support, because what happens a lot of times is that the coin, when it dips, it goes up and touches previous support, okay? So this is a safe area for you to buy, anywhere underneath this support base. This was a really crappy drop, but that was still decent. You could still buy it over here. And same thing over here, okay? So this was my support. And then anywhere in this section, you can buy and buy and buy. And my first buy is the smallest, okay? And this is all about money management. So if you do have a few $1,000s, you can absolutely trade it and make a lot of money. But if you only have a few $100s, that's when account building comes in before you can go and do position trading. So if we dip, let's just say 5 to 7%, you know, I would nibble somewhere in here with about 5% of my initial investment. And then if we dip another, let's just say 10, 15%, then I'm going to double my money. And keep in mind, these candles are 4-hour candles. So if, you know, you got to give the coin time. You can't just sit there and stare at it 24/7. You got to give the coin time to decide where the bottom is going to be, okay? It takes a lot of time for it to pump, and then it's going to take a lot of time for it to dump, because it's such a huge coin with a lot of buyers and sellers, right? So essentially here, we're only waiting for one thing. We're waiting for the sellers to stop selling, because if you look at this chart, this is pretty much just an argument between the buyers and the sellers in the order book, right? Everything that we see on the chart is just a reflection of what's going on in the order book. So sometimes the sellers take over, and this is when we see red. And then sometimes the buyers take over, and this is when we see the green. So in order for you to really make money on it and not to be afraid to invest, you know, a hefty sum and then make a lot of money on it, what you have to do is you have to be able to layer it. Because when we were trading this, when I was trading this, I really didn't know where the bottom was. I mean, I figured out where the bottom was based on volume. So I would say 80% of the time, the volume indicates where the bottom is. Basically, when the volume increases, but the candle, the size of the candles decreases, okay, the actual hourly candles, that means that the buyers in the order book, what happens is that they're propping all of these sell-offs, right? And that happens when the panic happens. They're propping all of these, all of this book on this side, on the buyer side, with large orders. So the sellers are continuing to sell in panic, but the buyers are basically saying, you know what, this is going to be an acceptable price for us to come in and scoop up all of these coins that the sellers are panic selling down the order book. Like, see right now, there's a 35 BTC order. If this thing would have been panicking, if we would have been, you know, diving down, and the sellers would be trying to market sell, okay, the alts are dipping because they're adjusting themselves to BTC. Okay, there are different ways, there are different reasons why things are dipping. Okay, so if these guys are still trying to market sell in panic to these guys, at some point these people come in and they're like, you know what, this is acceptable price for us, this is as low as we're going to allow it to go. And what happens is what happens is the volume increases, but the candlestick size decreases a lot. Okay, so what that shows to me is that all of these people sold to all of these large orders that were sitting at this particular price. Okay. Can this be recorded to a YouTube channel so we can watch it back later? Mike, are you there? Anybody? He's probably taking a break. Anyway, I'm not sure about the YouTube, but I do have my own Twitch channel, and I'll post it later if you guys want to check it out, because I do streams once in a while, and I do giveaways and all kinds of stuff, and I also talk a lot about this kind of trading method. All right. So all you have to do essentially is buy under the base, buy under a strong support base, like over here. You know, you can buy anywhere over here. Anywhere in the section is safe, because a lot of times what happens is, if it's a panic drop, you have to realize all of these coins are being sold into somebody's hands. They're not being sold off into an empty space, right? They're being sold into somebody's hands. And these people who are buying all of these crazy sell orders, they have much more money than you and I and all of us combined. So they can buy over here anywhere in this section and then bring more money in and bring it all the way back up and make profits, okay? Because the house always wins. So this is essentially how you trade any coin, and I'm just using BTC as an example because BTC is the king, okay? And same thing over here. You could buy anywhere underneath the base. So let's take the most recent base, this one right here, okay? And see how it dipped? You could buy anywhere in the section, right? If you give it enough time, see what it did? It went up, touched the previous base, which became resistance, and then went on its own way down. And this is how I trade BTC, and this is how I make a lot of money off of it. All you have to do is give it time. BTC is a very slow-moving coin. You will make more money by waiting than trying to scalp. I tried scalping, and I can tell you right now it doesn't work. 2-3% doesn't work. You know what works? If you buy over here and you sell at 35% profit. And then if you buy somewhere over here underneath the base and make 20-30% profit. And same thing over here. Look, we dipped all the way down to 6K. I actually held on this time because the volume was absolutely insane over here. You see how it spiked close to the bottom? I made close to 80% profit on BTC. And all it took was a few weeks of holding. Okay. So this works if you do have enough money in your trading account, okay, to go in and to say, okay, this is a clear base. Yes, hello? Is there anyone there? To say, okay, this is a clear base, this is a base. I can buy over here, but if it dips lower, I can buy lower and lower.
Over one Bitcoin or more.
Are you talking to me or somebody else? Okay, so this works if you do have enough money, basically. Even if I decide to buy over here, and trust me, the lower the drop is, the better it is for you, okay? if we would have a 5% drop, yeah, I'm going to invest a little bit of money to nibble. If this thing decides to drop lower, because look what happens.
Good.
I don't think he hears me. It's okay. So for example, let's just take this nice crazy dip over here, right? So let's just say this was our base, and I've decided to buy somewhere over here, right? And then this thing decided to go lower. So let's just say I'll put $100 over here, right? And then this thing decided to dip lower. So over here somewhere, I'm going to buy with $200 because the lower it goes, the more money I'm going to put in a coin. So what happens is on $100, by the time we've gotten to here, I've lost, let's just say 18%, right? And in order for me to not be at loss from this investment right here, what I'm doing is I'm putting $200 over here. And trust me, the lower it goes, the more money I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put $200 over here. And by the time this thing goes up, right, give it enough time, it's going to go up. So even if from this point on, when I bought with $200 and I decide to sell somewhere over here, I'm making 18% on $200, which is basically more money than what I've lost on this trade right here. So if I'm at loss $18 over here, this $200, right? And well, let's say like almost $40 profit on the $200. That's gonna not only compensate for my loss from over here, but it's also going to make me some profit, okay? So it's a very, very safe way to trade. All you have to do is trade the panic, trade it underneath the previous support base, wherever it is. You know, it could be this as well. And the lower you go, it goes, the more you buy. No, it's not gambling, because honestly, if you look at the map, if you look at any of, I mean, not the map, the chart, if you look at any of these crazy dips, okay, even from here all the way down to here, you could have still made money. You just have to wait for a clear panic under the base. Okay? And same thing over here. This was, to this day, this is my most profitable trade, because besides trading BTC, I've also traded Ethereum, Neo, Litecoin, and a bunch of other coins. And I started trading in October, and this was my most profitable trade. Okay? So over here, you can absolutely do the same thing. Okay? Even if it's, although there is panic, but what we're seeing right here is not enough interest from the buyers to come and bring this coin back up. Although, yes, this is the case, you can still absolutely trade this and make money on it. All you have to do is buy under the base, buy under previous support, and make a ton of money of it. And look, at some point it came back up. So even if you would have bought over here, yeah, I only started in October. I only started day trading in October. Before, I would just sit and invest into coins. Like, this would be me, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, look, BTC is at 20K. All right, let me just buy in here and I'm going to hold forever. No, I didn't mention stop losses because I don't use stop losses. I don't have to use stop losses because I'm not buying when everybody else is buying. I'm buying when majority of people are selling, okay? And for me, a very nice panic is when the coin goes down, literally in a straight line. And if it's a 30% drop, I'll be the one buying right here. Okay. Well, I think I'm pretty much done explaining stuff. And if you guys want to follow my Twitch, because I do talk about this stuff all the time, because that's the only we trade, then feel free to follow me if you want. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay?
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You did awesome.
Thank you. I tried. It was better than the first time when I got here. I was like, hello? I can't believe people.
You were fine.
All right, and I'll come back again, and I'll talk about stuff with you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, okay? Because I know it's really hard to grasp in the beginning, but I will do my best to make you feel as comfortable as I can, okay? Because there's literally no fear in the way I trade. I'm not afraid to buy the dip, and then because I'm so used to it, I've done it many, many, many times. I don't even look at green anymore. I'm looking at this for.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna go back to my Black Desert Online fishing.
Sounds good.
All right, bye guys.
I'll log you out
Hey,
here.
Koshka.
Give it for Koshka, guys.
Thanks, Koshka.